Hello everyone, this is Barcelona News World. The following are the headline we are going to discuss. FC Barcelona vs Real Madrid, expected lineups and team news, LaLiga 2024-25. Barcelona star expressed concerns about teammate during inter-clash. Shouldn't be playing in this condition. Pep Guardiola, still trying to come to terms with split from wife Cristina Serra and no attempt at reconciliation, made during Man City manager's trip to Barcelona. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Welcome. The stage is set for a season-defining Clásico as FC Barcelona and Real Madrid come head-to-head in La Liga, with only 4 points separating the two teams as they take on the final 4 games of the league season. The game will be played at 4:15 p.m. local time, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time, on Sunday, May 11th at Montjuic in Barcelona. Barcelona has already got one over Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final, beating them 3-2 in extra time, only 2 weeks ago. They also beat Los Blancos in the Spanish Super Cup final and in the previous league meeting between the teams, giving coach Hansi Flick a 100% win rate against Carlo Ancelotti in competitive Clásico meetings. However, the Catalans do come into this game with the disadvantage of having had their hearts broken on Tuesday night as they crashed out of the Champions League semi-finals to Inter Milan in Italy after 120 minutes. Real Madrid, who exited the competition in the quarter-finals, have had a full week of rest since securing a 3-2 victory over Celta Vigo. That was their 4th consecutive win in La Liga, though they have been eliminated from the Champions League and the Copa del Rey during that time. Victory for Barcelona in this game would mean that they can seal the title in midweek if they beat Espanyol in the Catalan derby. However, if Real Madrid were to win, it would mean that there would be only 1 point between the two teams with 3 games left to play. FC Barcelona vs Real Madrid team news. Barcelona faces a number of injury doubts which will influence their team selection. In particular, Hansi Flick faces a dilemma in attack, where veteran forward Robert Lewandowski is believed to be fully fit but has not started a game in 3 weeks and will be lacking match sharpness, which could allow Ferran Torres to keep his place. Other doubts include in goal, where Marc-Andre ter Stegen returned to action against Real Valladolid last weekend. Wojciech Szczesny has featured regularly in his absence, but Flick faces a decision between the decisions. In defense, Alejandro Balde looks unlikely to recover from his hamstring injury in time, meaning that Gerard Martin is likely to continue in the left-back position. Jules Koundé is also ruled out, with Eric Garcia set to fill in there having excelled in Milan in midweek. For Real Madrid, there are no new injury concerns after the recent muscle injury to Ferland Mendy, which will keep him out for at least another week, and the tendon injury to Eduardo Camavinga, which has ended his season. Antonio Rudiger has also taken advantage of a 6-game ban to operate on his ongoing knee injury, and he is not expected back until the Club World Cup. Last weekend, Carlo Ancelotti was without forward Rodrigo Goes after he suffered from fever, but he has trained fully and is expected to be available. That may not be enough to earn him a starting spot given the form of Turkish youngster Arda Güler in his place. Real Madrid vs FC Barcelona, expected lineups. FC Barcelona 4-2-3-1 Wojciech Szczesny, Eric Garcia, Inigo Martinez, Pau Cubarsí, Gerard Martin, Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, Robert Lewandowski. Real Madrid 4-2-3-1 Thibaut Courtois, Fede Valverde, Aurelien Tchouameni, Raúl Asensio, Fran Garcia, Dani Ceballos, Luka Modric, Arda Güler, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe. Injured Barcelona defender Jules Koundé expressed surprise at Robert Lewandowski's presence on the pitch during their Champions League semi-final second leg against Inter Milan, according to Barca Reservat, a podcast from Catalunya Radio. Koundé, currently out with a thigh injury he sustained in the first leg versus Inter, made an unannounced trip to the Giuseppe Meazza to watch the match in person. Koundé watched the match from the stands, and Barca Reservat revealed some of the comments he made during the game. The defender, seated near João Felix, currently playing for AC Milan, questioned one of Hansi Flick's tactical choices. The coach introduced Robert Lewandowski during stoppage time in the second half, just before Inter equalized. Koundé was surprised by the move, as he believed the Polish striker was not yet fit to return from his recent muscular injury. The Frenchman is believed to have said, "I don't know why Lewandowski is playing, he shouldn't be playing in this condition." It must be noted that Lewandowski had been out with an injury for the last 2 weeks and had received his medical clearance only a day before the trip to Italy. Lewandowski was unable to make much of an impact on his return during the extra time and did not manage to create any clear goal-scoring opportunities. Pep Guardiola is still trying to come to terms with his split from wife Cristina Serra, with no attempt at reconciliation being made. Following an announcement in January that the pair were to head their separate ways, recent reports hinted at a recoupling as differences were put to one side. Guardiola headed to Barcelona over Easter to spend time at his family home in Catalonia. Spanish media outlets claimed that a reunion could be on the cards as Guardiola and Serra were prepared to give their relationship another chance, as all was not lost in their marriage, with Guardiola still wearing his wedding ring. The popular Mamarazzi's podcast has, however, shed new light on the situation. Laura Fa said, "A lot of this has come about one of the visits Pep made to Barcelona when a photographer managed to get a photo of him. We were able to confirm Pep Guardiola spent 3 days in the city and slept for at least 2 nights in the house in Barcelona he bought with Cristina where their daughter still lives. What we know is that the separation is continuing its course and there's no reconciliation, and as far as Cristina is concerned there's no attempt at reconciliation. She was the one who sparked the split and gave Pep a sort of ultimatum, and he could still be trying to come to terms with the situation." Serra is said to have been left frustrated at Guardiola agreeing to extend his contract at Manchester City during secretive talks that were kept from his family. As a result, divorce proceedings remain ongoing. FA added, "The house Pep spends time in when he is in Barcelona is still the family home and will be the place he comes to when he returns to the city to see his children or when there are family events here." Pep and Cristina continue to have a good relationship. We don't have many more details about the couple's intimacy, but we can confirm that they are still separated and there is no reconciliation on the horizon. The thing is that when there's a good relationship between a couple who have split, it can sometimes cause confusion. Guardiola, who has overseen an era of remarkable success at Manchester City, is now tied to a contract at the Etihad Stadium through to the summer of 2027. The 54-year-old has been married for just under 11 years, but his relationship with Serra has spanned more than 30 years. Seeing you on next video.